Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Natalia Moczulska and this is the news. Was Wagner Group leader Prigozhin definitely killed yesterday, or perhaps his doppelganger? Was his plane shot down or blown up with a bomb planted on board? Russia is a country unlike any other. It is a state of mind. This madness cannot be rationalized and understood. The plane leased by Prigozhin took off from Moscow Sheremetyevo Airport before 6 p.m. yesterday and was scheduled to land near St. Petersburg after an hour and a half. The machine ascended to an altitude of more than 8,500 meters, but suddenly began to lose altitude in an abrupt manner. At 6:20 p.m., the plane disappeared from radars. Witnesses to the incident recorded the moment of the explosion. I heard the sound of the explosion while the plane was still in the air, and also noticed white smoke escaping from inside the falling wreckage. I was on the scene after 20 minutes, and there were people everywhere. I saw them pulling out the charred remains. As for what might have happened, let's put it this way, we all know what happened. On the passenger list of the Embraer Legacy 600, in addition to Yevgeny Prigozhin, there were to be Dmitry Utkin, Prigozhin's right hand, Sergei Propustin, Nikolai Matusev, and Yevgeny Makaryan, veterans of the formation, as well as Alexander Totmin, co-responsible for recruitment. The seventh passenger on the plane was Valery Chekalov, head of the security service. On the other hand, the cockpit contained two pilots and a flight attendant. According to many commentators, it is almost certain that Putin ordered the downing of Prigozhin's plane as revenge for the June mutiny of the Wagner Group. Of course, revenge for the putsch, but also the elimination of a man who introduced some inconsistency in the Russian regime. Therefore, in my opinion, from the point of view of Ukraine, it is bad that Prigozhin is dead, because he criticized Russian generals. Most likely there are traces of anti-aircraft missile use on the fuselage and wings of the plane, so I am personally very curious to see how this will be approached by the Russian Air Accident Investigation Commission, which will have to publish a report on what happened near Moscow yesterday. U.S. President Joe Biden also commented on the matter.
I don't know for a fact what happened, but I'm not surprised.
Do you believe?
There's not much that happens in Russia that Putin's not behind, but I don't know enough to know the answer. I've been working out for the last hour and a half.
Will you watch the debates later?
I'm going to try to get as much as I can, yes.
In June, Prigozhin instigated a mutiny against the command of the armed forces of the Russian Federation. The cause of the putsch was the shelling of the Wagner camp and the killing of many mercenaries, for which the head of the formation accused the Russian Defense Ministry. On June 24th, the Wagner Group entered Rostov-on-Don and then began moving toward Moscow. The putsch ended with an agreement between the Kremlin and Prigozhin, with Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko participating in the mediation. Yesterday, exactly 2 months after the coup, Prigozhin's plane went down 50 kilometers from the town of Valdai, where Vladimir Putin's residence is located. Yesterday, Putin's close friend Sergei Surovikin was dismissed from his post as commander of Russia's air and space forces. Surovikin was known for his undisguised affection for Prigozhin. Surovikin was most likely dismissed from his post earlier. He was sitting in Lefortovo after that putsch. In fact, for 2 months, he was most likely in the Lefortovo detention center, where information was extracted from him about who else in the military represents pro-Prigozhin sentiment. But it seems to me that the release to the world of this information that he lost his post yesterday is not coincidental. Although Prigozhin's death has not been officially confirmed, this is the version accepted by the Wagner mercenaries themselves. Mercenaries are announcing retaliation for the assassination of their formation founder. The consequences of the attack on this plane and the death of Wagner Group's top leaders will be very serious. And it's not just about the reaction of the Wagner mercenaries themselves, because they may be shaken up or they may be frightened having lost their leaders. They may not know what to do. But of course the question arises, what about the fate of those thousands of Wagner troops in Belarus? After the failed putsch, the Wagner troops stayed in Belarus. Today, Radio Svoboda reported that the Wagner Group mercenary camp near Osipovichi is being gradually dismantled. Today, Ukraine celebrates Independence Day. But of course, the war prevents any lavish celebration. For the second year in a row, no celebrations are held in Kyiv. On the occasion of the holiday, President Zelensky awarded numerous decorations and made a special address. Ukrainian President Zelensky spoke at an official ceremony in central Kyiv as Ukraine's highly anticipated counteroffensive to reclaim Russian-occupied territory reached its third month.
Пам'ятаємо, через що пройшов український народ.
We keep memories of what Ukrainian people went through. We can see the threats. We are fighting against the enemy, and we keep in mind that we know how to win, and we will win. Ukrainian children on Ukrainian squares and streets will celebrate the independence of Ukraine. Our grandchildren and grandchildren of our grandchildren will celebrate independence together with the friends of our country, with allies and partners whom Ukraine will always choose freely. Kyiv residents examined a collection of captured and destroyed Russian military equipment, such as tanks, on Thursday, as Ukraine marked its Independence Day. Some shed tears as they spoke about the fight against the invading Russian forces, while others expressed pride and defiance. All Ukrainians are waiting for victory, and the main street in Kyiv, including the Independence Square, symbolize victory. So many people have died. I wanted to be here with everyone on this day, and I feel that Ukraine still hasn't died, that people keep hope in their hearts, and it's great to witness. They wanted to take Kyiv in 3 days, and now their tanks are here. We know they will all drop dead. Now they know that they will never accomplish what they wanted to do to Ukraine. Ukraine is the gateway to Europe. We are defending Europe from the occupiers. If we give up, other countries will suffer. The Russians will not stop, that is for sure. We have learned to appreciate the simple moments. My pride for this nation and its people has grown. I'm proud of the men and the women that are defending us and participating in this war. Proud of the people that know how to gather together and fight back against Russian aggression. I hope that we won't lose our drive, our energy on the way, because all that's going on is exhausting. But we have to preserve our dynamic and bring this situation to a logical conclusion. The spirit of Ukraine's independence has not changed, but Ukrainians have gathered like I've never seen before. On February 24, 2022, I was in Kyiv when we were setting up our shelter basement. Even the homeless brought us emptied bottles to make Molotov cocktails to fight the Russians. The national holiday coincided with the 18-month mark of Russia launching its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. As Kyiv marked 32 years of independence from Moscow, at least 13 people were wounded in Russian attacks on Ukraine. On Independence Day, Ukrainians commemorate the holiday, but above all, they continue the fight for their homeland. A strike on a bus terminal in Dnipro wounded 10 and damaged shops and their contents. 3 of the injured needed hospital treatment, Regional Governor Serhiy Lysak reported. Like every other person, I was asleep when the attack happened. A phone call woke me up. I came here to see that nothing's left. My shop is gone and so are my goods. Everything is totally destroyed. See for yourselves. Yes, a few things could be saved, around 10% of our goods. We'll figure out how much exactly. We hope that we'll receive some sort of help from our government, at least a little bit. I heard in the morning that Dnipro was under attack, but I could have never imagined that the bus terminal was attacked. We work here at the bus terminal. We have a used electronic goods shop. When we arrived, we couldn't get inside our store. When we finally got inside after authorities allowed us, we saw that everything was completely destroyed. It's hard to say as of now what financial losses we have. I think they're animals. There are lots of people here. People arrive and leave the city. How can you fire on a civilian target? They're not human. In total, more than 10 other buildings, including a bank, a hotel, and an administrative building, were damaged. Poland's border guard seized almost half a ton of cocaine, worth around 186 million zloty. The drugs were found at the Baltic Sea port of Gdynia. The drugs were hidden inside floorboards, loaded into 2 shipping containers. The boards were made of expensive tropical wood. They arrived in Poland from South America. The entire cargo was shipped from Bolivia and sailed to the port of Gdynia from a port in Chile. In total, the Polish border guard seized nearly 440 kilograms of pure cocaine, with a black market value of about $43.6 million US. For the time being, the services have detained a 46-year-old man. Further arrests are planned as the investigation is underway. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Please stay tuned for Poland Daily Weather, Poland Daily Business, and some of our other programs. But for me, it's have a wonderful evening.